The One Micronesia podcast is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Hafa greetings, and in this case, in this podcast, aloha to you guys watching the One Micronesia podcast. Remember, this podcast is being brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together. Speaking of better together, bringing people together, this is exactly what this podcast is doing, and talking about a whole lot of things about what people are doing, especially people who have ties to Micronesia and what they're doing out and abroad and pretty much helping out the communities that they live and represent. So in this podcast, I do have with me a group. I couldn't get all of them together because of the busy schedules, and I saw a big group video that they did. I was like, it's gonna be hard to fit all of them in one Zoom, but I'll try later on to kind of pick at them and maybe get them on one-on-one interviews. But just for now, I just wanted to get to know the whole idea, the meaning behind the group. So here with me today, all the way out in Hawaii, I do have with me 455. Guys, I'm just let you guys introduce yourselves. Thank you, first of all, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. And Gasalelia. Hey, how's it? My name is Troy. I come from Myrtle Beach, but I was raised in Augusta, Georgia. And this is my partner right here.
Hi, I'm Bethia. I was born and raised here on Oahu. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for having us on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start this interview, and let's start there. 455 Made. What's the goal? What's the mission? And I guess to really start, because maybe some people won't know, 455 Made. Why the name?
Why the name? 455 Made. The name came from our street address. We moved into a street on Honolulu in Waikiki, and the street number, the number to our neighborhood, to our apartment complex, was 455. And most of our ideas come from this small little apartment that we have, a small 2-bedroom. So like, one day, me and the guys, all of us, were just like, we're gonna make this a trend. We're gonna be like, 455 made this, 455 made that. So with that being said, that's how 455 is made.
Let's talk about 455 Made. For those who don't know, what is this organization? What's the goal? What's the mission?
The mission is to, it's a group of young adults just, forming together with a big idea to help people grow and prosper, people that are in need especially. And we're not only here to help people grow and prosper, but to also inspire people to do all these type of things that we are doing in God's love and strength. And with that being said, like, our mission is to grow, prosper, and inspire. And
let's talk about the idea. Like, how did it all start? Like, did you see, was there an event or a time in your life where you saw something, you're like, man, I should do something? Was that how it all started for 455 Made?
We started out as a group that wanted to spread positivity through film. And if you checked out our page, we've actually created a film not so long ago, probably in like February, about self-love. And when that video was done, we filmed it. It took us like 2 months to film it. When that video was done, we were like, okay, so like, what's a way that we can like go above and beyond and show people that we are there to help them and to help them grow?
The next project.
So the next project, it's crazy because me and Bethia, we're just like chilling, and she was just like telling me her story about helping the homeless out, because her and her dad really does a lot for the community as well. And she told me about Auntie Twinkle and Puhu Honua Waianae, and that inspired us to create this idea that, look, we're gonna help people and go above and beyond that. We're gonna give to people, and try to earn their trust and feed them when they need, With that, that's how it all started. It all started off like a basic video idea, and just like turned into something like, turn into like something bigger than the picture itself.
Let's talk about the other individuals real quick. Who else is in the group, where they're from, and stuff like that.
And this is like probably my favorite
Best
question.
question.
You know, the best question. I love introducing my team.
Amazing
You
people.
know, with me and Bethia, you know, we're gonna go down the line here. First, we got Christopher Stokowski. Christopher Stokowski comes from Delaware. He's an inspiring videographer. Next, we got Baylor Alter. Those two are my co-partners throughout everything. He comes from Pompe, Micronesia. He is also an aspiring videographer. And then we got Devon Donray. She's from here in Hawaii, but of Micronesian descent. She's Pohnpeian. We got Rayona, also from Pohnpei. Um, she grew up there, but came here with you know a lot of love. You know, her faith is really strong. We got Ikaika. He comes from he grew up in he was born in Guam, but he grew up over here in Hawaii and in Guam, and he's full of heart too. And then we also got Addison Carroll. She's from Portland, Oregon, and she came here just to be a college student, and she got brought in to this family. And with all my members here, it's like one big heart, man. We just keep pumping.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, you talk about we in the beginning of the podcast, we introduced you guys as a diverse group of young individuals who have come together to serve a purpose way greater than themselves. And then we know you just explained how passionate each one is and what role they play. You talk about being the video person, the different each member of in the group has and is contributing something to the cause and the planning on and making things work. So that's just beautiful. Let's just talk about like a room full of just great and amazing vibes and spirits and ideas. I think that will definitely carry 455 the long run.
You know, they inspire me. They're filled with so much heart that they inspire me to try, to think about these ideas and like, they all have the same type of grind. So I'm just blessed to have them on my team.
That's amazing. Guys, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we get to find out what 455 has been doing. We talked about that a little, the video that it all started with that, and then it went into helping the homeless. We'll talk more about that in this next segment that we'll be back after this. So guys, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Hafide, Mogithin, and in this case, Aloha and Kasalelye and you're watching the One Micronesia podcast. We're back. We're still talking with Troy and Bethia all the way out in Hawaii. They are members of the group 455 Made, a nonprofit group who are doing such great things out in Hawaii when it comes to serving a greater cause. So we're back here. And guys, we talked about how the organization started. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to come together and bring other individuals who have that same mentality in doing great things, bringing them together and making 455 Made. So now let's talk about some of those events that you guys have put together. Let's start with the video.
So we basically wanted to give out the idea that, hey, go out and love yourself, even on love's biggest day, which is Valentine's Day. So we thought of this back in December, and then we worked on it all the way till literally a few days before Valentine's Day. And when the film came out, it was just beautiful. Like people watched it and people were inspired. They were like, man, like sometimes I be like going through it, and sometimes I feel like I don't love myself as much as I need to. And then with that being said, next came the idea of the food drive.
And like I love how it went from like self-love to you guys changing it to giving out love kind of thing.
Yes. It went from, love yourself to, you can love yourself, man, love others. Like, let's love others and like, teach them, like give to them. So with this idea of being the food drive, me and Bethia, we came out with this idea, and then we came to the group, and the group were all in. They're like, oh man, like, dude, this is such a great idea. We're gonna help people out. So like the idea really came like, when was it, like April?
Early April.
Early April. So we literally only had 2 months, you know? So first we had to ask the woman in charge of the precious village of Pua Onua Owainai. Man, she has the biggest heart, Auntie Twinkle. We asked her for permission basically to like, hey, can we host a food drive at your precious village that you love so much? And then she gave us the yes. And right when she gave us the yes, that's when we started to make the GoFundMe page, uh, budgeting. We started to create more ideas within the food drive, and like what to bring to the table. And you know, within those 2 month spans, like we went through some challenges. We went through like we went, you know, we jumped some mountains, but we got there, and you know, we got there, and like it was bigger than what we expected. Like this small idea of a food drive actually turned out to be big because people kept on sharing it. You know, it was beautiful, and yeah, like
It's just crazy how
it's crazy.
everything came together so perfectly. Like with the struggles he talked about, like maybe like the next day, like God would bring us a solution to it, and like it would work out. And we ended up serving like over 100 people that day, and then day after too, because we had so much food. We had leftovers. We went out to the other side of the island and passed out meals there too.
Wow, that's amazing. You talk about starting it off from just a video, and I think it was just amazing that you started. It all starts, you know, there's a saying like it all starts with you, right? You've heard the saying, it all starts with you. So you guys made a video on self-love. Obviously you have to start there. You have to love yourself before you go out and love others. We've heard this all over and over again. So you guys definitely did that with the video, and then now you guys out and about and helping out one of the people who really needed help, especially during this pandemic, was those who couldn't afford living, and then now on the streets, and from time to time, you know, they struggle in finding at least something to eat, either for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So you guys made a commitment and went at it and did it. And you guys talked about jumping mountains to making it work, and you guys definitely made it work. Let's talk about some of the outcomes, or some of the, you know, the reactions from people who you guys have helped. And I know you guys were out and about, you know, face to face with those who the needed. So what were the reactions you guys saw when you guys were out there helping?
Man, it was beautiful, man. Like, you know, like we on that day, on those 2 days that we gave ministry, like people really, like some people really like were shy to come up to us, but at the end they were really grateful that we came to give. You know, we came to help them get a meal for a day. You know, it was very beautiful. Like we had this one little girl, like we got out the van, and then we asked this one family. They were like walking along the tunnels, like on the streets, and we're like, come get some food. And then, you know, you just see the little girl just like running, like full speed towards us, like wanting food. And that was really beautiful, man. It's really beautiful that we've touched so many families that are in need, that can't get on top of their feet.
Yeah, and it's very humbling too, like seeing people that are showing themselves like the humbleness, and then like coming up to us and like being open to receiving help in the same way, you know.
Guys, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the future plans of 455 Made. Now people are watching, and now people are getting like, oh, now they're getting to know you guys. Now they're getting to know how amazing of a group you guys are. And, you know, we're going to talk about that. And later on, they throw out the social media and get people to follow you guys, and maybe down the line, you know, throw in some help here and there. So we're going to get to that. That's coming up later on in the show. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the One Micronesia podcast, and it's being brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together. Hafide, Mogithin, Kasalele, and Aloha. We're back again. It's the One Micronesia podcast being brought to you by Docomo Pacific. And we're back here with Troy and Bethia of 455 Made. And guys, let's continue the interview. People are loving this talk and what you guys are doing so far. So let's continue it. We learned about the different events that you guys have had along the way or so far done in the books. Now we're looking to the future because now more people want to see what 455 it has got in stores for 2021. So let's talk about the plans. What do you guys have for 2021?
And we got a lot of events coming up.
Want to tell them?
Right now we're planning it all right now. Right now we just want to keep it under the books, keep it a surprise to the people. That's how much we love the people, man. We want to keep it a surprise. We want to keep them like thinking, what's the next one? Like so.
Maybe give us some glimpse of what you guys have. Maybe not the specific event itself, but what is it? Of course, we know food drive will be something you guys want to continue to do. So is that still on the agenda?
We're coming out with a second food drive, actually very soon. We're coming out with a food drive, and we're also coming out with a second event, which I'm trying hard not to say, but it's gonna be very special, and it's gonna give out to not only of people in need, but people with health issues.
And like the events coming up too, like we were talking about earlier, Richard mentioned like we want to build those relationships in order to get people on their feet and everything. So the events that we are planning is kind of working towards making those relationships. So that kind of gives you guys like an idea of what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And I mean, FYI, the president of the Federated States of Micronesia has definitely told me through his secretary that he does watch this podcast a whole lot. So hopefully he's watching, and hopefully he sees that there are individuals and mainly the younger generation of Micronesians are out there doing something, not just sitting on their butts and doing TikToks all day. They're actually doing something to curb this change that we want. So that's amazing. I know he's watching, and I hope he realizes that there's people out there making changes, and we're definitely on the right path.
Yeah, and like the group we have, they're so talented in like so many different areas where like I think the fact that we have them all together and we can use those talents and those gifts and like the big heart they have to really create.
and some we're kind of overpowered in my way. Like in how I see it, like every individual in that group has different strengths. Like we're very creative, and we think of the most creative ideas at the end of the day, and we can't wait for y'all to see it.
Cool to see how like everyone's talents can be utilized in a way to help out like all the communities you've been talking about.
That's beautiful.
We're going to get to your social media coming up in just a little bit, so people can go and follow you guys and see what's next in stores for you guys here in 2021. We're going to take another break, and we'll be back to pretty much close out the show. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back. The One Micronesia podcast being brought to you by Docomo Pacific, better together. And to close things out, I know, if only I had all the time in the world just to chit chat with these two and maybe bring in more of their group members on just to talk and talk about the different amazing things that they're doing out in Hawaii. So yes, if you missed out the whole half of the podcast, like why did you miss out? Because these guys and their stories that they've pretty much shared on here is beautiful, and it's all about giving towards to a greater cause. So I'm still here to close out with 455 Made. I'm here with Troy and Bethia. Guys, let's talk about it. Message to the viewers watching right now. Maybe they're watching from Hawaii, they're watching from here on Guam or elsewhere around the Federated States of Micronesia, Palau, Marshall Islands, or anywhere in the world watching. I mean, everything is streaming now. So people who are watching the podcast right now, what message would you have for them?
Well, for whoever's been supporting us and been going through these ideas and like watching us grow, thank you. I love y'all. We love y'all. 455 May loves y'all. And I can't wait to bring y'all up with us. And for those of you guys who are, are going to watch this and are going to see this and be like, oh, who's 455 made? Well, let's just say like, stay tuned because we're gonna show more ideas and we're all gonna keep growing. This is, this is not for, uh, you know, Micronesia, Polynesia, not for islanders, in general. This is for the whole world.
Bethia?
And also like yeah, and for like all the viewers watching too, like we're so thankful for you guys listening to us in the first place, following us with this journey. We can see what we have next, but we also want to challenge like whoever's listening to get involved within your community as well. Like you don't have to wait on us to change or bring, it starts with you. It starts within your family, within your communities, within your friends and family, whether it's spending some quality time with your family, giving out meals, anything, just you can get involved, you can be part of change.
And with that, like, we're here to inspire, like we said. We created a pathway. Let's keep the building blocks going.
I love it, guys. And then now for those who are watching and now they're getting involved and they know that there are plans for the future, how can they go about helping out for 455 made by either making a donation, or if they're living in Hawaii, they could come by and volunteer? How do they go about doing that? Where can they go and inquire all of that?
By the way, we also got a website coming in the beginning of next month, so can't wait for y'all to see that. And you can also, and when that time comes, you can also hit us up on the website, and we'll also have all the Instagrams and our Facebook and Instagram pages on there. So yeah,
everything is at 4558.
So guys, again, thank you so much. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Bethia, for the time. I know the time difference is always a killer, but we made it work. Thanks to you guys for making the time for me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man.
God bless, and continue to inspire, guys. You guys are definitely on the path, and people maybe you might not know because they haven't told you yet, but you've inspired me, for the little things that you guys, or the big things, not little, the big things that you guys are doing, and what we'll continue to do down the line. You're a big inspiration to everybody, all the islanders out there who might have been stuck at one point, but now you've inspired them to do something. Like Bethia said, like just give out, it doesn't have to be a million plates, but give out a plate or two. You walk outside and you have an extra, give a little. So thank you.
With y'all's love,
praise
man.
God.
Yeah, praise God. And with y'all's love, y'all are inspiring us.
We're all in it together.
We're all in it together.
I like that. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up another episode of the One Micronesia podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, this podcast is being brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
The One Micronesia podcast is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.